Welcome back to First Take. The Thunder beat the Suns last night to go up 2-0 on the conference's 8th seed. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 37 points, 9 assists, while Chet Holmgren added 19 for OKC. The Thunder led by 8 at the break and never looked back. However, things did get a little chippy in the second half as multiple technical fouls were thrown, including one at Devin Booker with 2:05 remaining in the third. You can see it here. Booker said he didn't receive an explanation as to why the tech was even thrown. Here was Booker on the officiating in Game 2.
For my 11 years, I haven't called a ref out by name, but James was terrible tonight, through and through. It's bad for the sport, bad for the integrity of the sport. You know, people are going to start viewing this as a WWE, you know, if they're not held responsible. It just feels disrespectful. You know I haven't won a championship in this league, but I have been in it for 11 years now. So to get to this point, to be treated like that, for me to even be saying something out loud, it's bad.
Kendrick Perkins now joins us here on First Take. Perk, what's your reaction to what Book said?
I mean, that's the effect of the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, in the wild, right, the most annoying animal is the hyena, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And this is not
eat everything. They want to bother everybody.
Yeah, and that's
looking to nibble.
Yep, and that's the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're a bunch of wild pack of hyenas. They're a bunch of pack of hyenas defensively. And why do I bring that up? Is because this is not the first time that we done seen players crying after they finish playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is what they do. They get on your ass like back pockets. It's a certain level of physicality that they play with, and they just have earned the respect of the officials. And I get it, that technical foul, should he have gotten it? No, but even in the history tells me even when I was playing the game of basketball, we would always do that to refs. Hey, he deserved a tech for that now. Don't let him get away with that. That's part of the game. The real question is to Devin Booker is, when the hell are you going to show up and be Devin Booker? Be that guy. Be a guy that's powerful and not popular. Because let's keep it a buck. Since the play-in tournament, he hasn't been that guy that's went out there and had any type of real powerful moment. Yes, he's been a guy that's been, a leader, a guy that's been getting others involved, but Devin Booker get paid the big bucks to get buckets and dance on the big stage. That's what I want to see out of Devin Booker.
Well, listen, I agree with you there, but that don't make him wrong with what he was saying, because I watched it. I didn't think he deserved a tech. He's going to get fined because you called the ref out by name. A fine is coming. Right now, the NBA office also opened about an hour and a half ago. They looking for some money. They're going to take some money from that brother. Make no mistake about it, because you can't do that. But in the same breath, like Big Perk said, they're like a pack of hyenas. I call them a pack of piranhas. They come for you. This is what the Oklahoma City Thunder do. And they frustrate you because defensively, they're a collectively stout unit. Everybody's in their right places. They don't miss assignments. There's no drop off in energy no matter what, whether somebody's switching on you, whether they stand on you, fighting through picks, whatever it is. They are always, always on you. There are very, very few occasions where you see any lapses in judgment or in execution on a part of the Oklahoma City Thunder defense. That's what their signature is all about. Even without Jalen Williams this year, they were like 39 and 10. They're going to find ways to win games. They're going to find ways to get at you. And they get up in you, and you go against an opponent like that, you know that anything less than your A game is not going to suffice. And so that may be fresh. He's got 45 points in 2 games, Devin Booker. They've held him in relative check. Obviously, he hasn't been what he's supposed to be against them, and I'm sure that has contributed to his frustration. But in the same breath, this ain't the first time he's played against OKC. This ain't the first time he has struggled against a team. For him to call out a ref like that, that's not something he normally does. Now, the NBA ain't going to take that into too much consideration because they still going to get that check from him. Make no mistake about it. But it is worth noting, that's not his MO. That's not something he does.
It's not, but we really need to stop as a whole, including the players that are playing on the floor, especially when it comes to OKC and SGA. When it comes to SGA getting a quote-unquote favorable whistle because of his ability to be able to draw fouls or get to the free throw line. We used to praise people for their ability of getting to the free throw line.
Right.
And I'm talking about greats, guys that are respected. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, LeBron James, the list goes on. So SGA is not the first player or superstar player, caliber player, the superstar type player to come about and start getting a favorable whistle or selling calls. It's been that way.
Yeah, but
for
that's
a long time.
but that's not really it with SGA. What the real issue with SGA is that SGA is a bad brother that's busting everybody's ass. I mean, that's what he's doing on a regular basis. He's just night in, night out, no matter who he goes up against. And it's the relative ease with which he does it. If it's a step back three, fine. If it's a pull up mid range, fine. If it's get to the hole, if it's a Euro step, fine. If it's get to the free throw line, fine. Whatever way you need him to beat you, he beats you. And he's just a spectacular, spectacular talent. That's what he has evolved into. But again, the collective complaint about Shai Gilgeous is what Big Perk is alluding to, because it ain't Phoenix. It's everybody that goes against OKC. They're complaining about some of the fouls that SGA is getting. They ain't bringing up the pull-up jumpers. They ain't bringing up the threes. They ain't bringing up the open court and how he dancing on cats and going to the left. They ain't thinking about the fact that you got guys with muscles coming out of their ear and they complaining about getting pushed off by this slim dude. Why? Because he's deceptively strong, he's slick, he's skilled, and he's just a magician on the basketball court on the offensive end of the floor, and people are jealous because they just ain't him. But that is not about Devin Booker last night. Devin Booker to call out an official, and I'm not calling out the official, I'm simply saying we have to take this into consideration. It's not what he does. Booker doesn't do that. So for him to do that and to name an official by name, and he didn't say that one call. He said all night long, this guy, this guy, this guy. That's something for the NBA while you're taking a check from him to take seriously and look at the tape and see what Devin Booker is talking about, because that's not something he does.
So to that point, and I agree with you, you just got to be on your A game if you're playing Oklahoma City. But to play devil's advocate here, multiple teams and coaches, we heard Mike Brown say something too when the Thunder played the Knicks. I mean, coaches too. Like, nobody has a point that maybe they're being officiated differently?
Well, who is Mike Brown to be trying to call out somebody? Like Jalen Brunson is not a guy that sell calls and get to the free throw line.
That's absolutely true.
I mean, well, damn. But my thing is this, Shay. As a coach, right, I understand, okay, Devin Booker, this is his first time doing it, but the coaches, that set a bad tone in the locker room. In the playoffs, you're supposed to have a next play mentality. You know who's one of the best teams in the league at not getting technical fouls? The NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They don't complain about nothing. And a lot of times they have the right to complain, but they have established an identity, a certain level of physicality. So they have a reputation that they play a certain type of way.
Dylan Brooks says they're not physical at all, if you heard his postgame.
Well, he can say what he wants, and I was very impressed with Dylan Brooks last night because he fought and fought and fought to the very end. And I give Dylan Brooks a lot of credit. Damn it, I wish he was a Knick, to be honest with you. I really would. I think he's the kind of guy that the New York Knicks need. I like Dylan Brooks a lot, but I want to say this too. Perk is right about how OKC doesn't complain. Here's the part that you didn't bring up about somebody like Mike Brown that deserves to be brought up. The Phil Jacksons, the Pat Rileys, even the Chuck Daly's or Larry Brown, people like that of the world, they would complain about the officiating going into a game in an effort to try to manipulate how the game would be called. That's entire, and it would be playoff time, stuff like that. That is entirely different than Mike Brown, who was complaining during the regular season about a loss, after it happened. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's different. Now, that's the kind of thing that makes you look at it and say, come on, bro, you need to stop that nonsense. Now, if you're complaining about something going into it, it's gamesmanship on the part of coaching. You're trying to get an advantage.
Right.
You're trying to make sure a game is called a certain way, that kind of thing. But when you complain after you get your ass kicked, in a regular season game, and it ain't even the playoffs, no, that's just an ass kicking that you did not absorb properly. That's what that's about.
So this might not be the last time we hear from players or coaches or whatever about Oklahoma City, but it wasn't all great yesterday. Jalen Williams did have 19 points, but he left the game in the third quarter with a left hamstring injury, and he did not return.
Also,
how concerning is that?
Also with the Phoenix Suns season high 41 turnovers in these two games. Let's not forget that, too. So, again, Oklahoma City is all over them. I'm very concerned in regards to your question about Jalen Williams because he's had a plethora of injuries. I'm just looking here at the laundry list of injuries. These are the games. He's missed 19 games because of a wrist injury. He's missed 17 games because of a hamstring injury. He's missed 11 games because of a thigh injury, and obviously 2 games because of injury management. This brother has missed a lot of games. They still win without him. But I don't think you beat in San Antonio without Jalen Williams. I don't know if you'd beat somebody like Denver or Minnesota without Jalen Williams. I think you need him with Shea in order to win. I think that Jalen Williams is a very significant thing to keep our eyes on, because no matter how gifted and deep Oklahoma City may be, there's a reason this brother starts alongside Shea Gilgeous-Alexander when he's healthy. This is a brother that dropped a 40-piece in the NBA Finals. This is Jalen Williams here. We got to stop talking about him like he's some ordinary player. And by the way, a couple of years back, there was only one team. There's only 2 players that made the All-NBA team and the All-NBA defensive team. It was Eric Mobley for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it was Jalen Williams for the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a valuable, valuable piece to this team. And without him, I would be very, very concerned about what Oklahoma City is going to be able to do come this postseason.
I don't want to take anything away from J-Dub. As Stephen A. just alluded to, he is a special player. But the Oklahoma City Thunder still can win the NBA championship without him. They're deeper than the Pacific Ocean when it comes to their depth.
Yet you have San Antonio winning.
I do, but I'm just saying. But would I be surprised at the end of the day if OKC is at the end of the season they holding up the trophy? No, that don't mean that I still don't believe in them. Because when you look at their depth, think about this series alone, right? And think about a guy like Aaron Wiggins, who hasn't touched the floor. Aaron Wiggins on the big stage had a couple 20 pieces last year.
That's right.
Right? Think about what they did at the trade deadline and go and get Jared McCain. Jared McCain this season had some big-time moments off the bench for them, right? A.J. Mitchell. A.J. Mitchell is one of the most praised guys around the league. A lot of teams around the league would love to have him. He is a starter. A guy that probably could average 18 to 20 points in this game, and now he comes in, Casey Wallace. So when you think about their depth, forget the bigs. We know what they got in Chet and the other Jalen Williams and Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm talking about what they have on the perimeter that could make up on the offensive end for J-Dub. Now, when it comes to these hamstring injuries, it is concerning for J-Dub long term. Think about this. Aaron Gordon last year pulled his hamstring against the Thunder, right? He came back into the season with the same hamstring bothering him throughout the course of this whole NBA season. These hamstring soft tissue injuries, they're a real thing in the NBA right now. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, yes, they're better with J-Dub, make no mistake about it, but they're still legit title contenders without them.
They're legit, no doubt about it, and I'm not to imply otherwise. I'm here to, I picked them at the beginning of the season to repeat. But the point that I'm making to you is that J-Dub is that significant, particularly defensively. And I know what they bring to the table in terms of effort and what have you. But when he's out, that's more pressure that's placed on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They can handle it, that's fine. But when you think about Wembanyama and the havoc he caused them when he was on the basketball court, even when J-Dub was on the basketball court, you have to pay attention to that. When you think about how Jamal Murray is flowing and when him and Jokic is in that two-man game and how nobody seems to be able to stop them, you have to pay attention to that. When you think about Minnesota and Ant-Man, if this brother gets